Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Iratus, Lord of the Dead. Now I know I haven't played this game for a couple of months now, maybe a bit longer than that. I delved back into it recently, yesterday and the day before, having another bash at it, and I've come to the conclusion that this game is really actually quite hard. However, I've got a lot of thoughts that I may or may not share, and why not play a little more while I do so. So currently in the alpha version, which is all we Kickstarter backers have access to, the only difficulty mode available is so-called Cakewalk, and it's no cakewalk. I haven't been able to beat it yet. It's very challenging. Let's step inside and see how it goes. Mainly because the main menu music can get a bit loud sometimes. Alright, so here we have Iratus, recently risen from his prison and seeking to escape. We have a number of minions. Here we have equipment. When we find equipment, it can be given to Iratus to make him more powerful. So Iratus the Necromancer was defeated by heroes a long time ago and buried in a powerful magical prison crypt deep beneath the earth, where he is all locked up, nice and safe. No one can get at him. However, he was a vast threat to the world, and so a number of heroes and guards and soldiers protect his tomb in case he ever tries to escape. Unfortunately, some bunch of sneaky, greedy and supposedly foolhardy grave robbers managed to break in and smash open his tomb to see if there was anything valuable inside, and they got a rather nasty surprise. Because guess who's awake and waiting to get out? That's right, it's Iratus. So here we have equipment for Iratus, here we have alchemy. Here we have all his spell books where we can learn special abilities. A number of things are locked and not available yet. We're going to learn the Sorrow spell.
So my dark powers return to me.
And I'm just going to quickly check. Yep, all good. We're going to learn the Blood Curse.
Ooh, this will do nicely.
And Transplantation.
I can't wait to try this out.
Now currently in the alpha, Blood Curse feels a bit like an easy mode button. You curse an enemy so they can't get many critical hits, and if they run away, they turn into a vampire. Here's the problem. Getting the enemies to run away is tricky. Now there's two ways you can fight enemies in this game. You can go for physical damage, ripping up their bodies, killing them to bits. And if you kill them that way, you get to harvest the bodies for parts to create new minions. Speaking of new minions, I'll be dealing with that very soon. You can also terrify them and cause stress to them. They can die from stress. They can freak out and start attacking their allies or do other strange things. Or they can run away. The problem is that when you just really hammer someone with heavy stress attacks to try and make them run away, sometimes they'll just die from shock and then you don't get a vampire. So the vampire costs a lot of our precious mana up here. We only have 100. And it would cost us 30 to try and make a vampire, and it's the only way we can actually get a vampire at the moment. We cannot craft them at the portal here.
Being alive is this exciting. I might as well climb back into my tomb.
Now, for our initial crafting, we have components we can create minions with. However, if I want to create a full second party of 4, and our minions are divided into parties of 4, then I have to go for a very specific group combination. So I want a Banshee.
Useful if You can put up with their constant whining.
A mummy.
I like to keep the embalmed organs as souvenirs.
A zombie.
They will be expecting cannon fodder, but I will give them cannons instead.
I have no idea what cannon fodder is. And a dark knight.
Hardly an inspiring leader, but irreverent for the armies of undead.
Now, with a dark knight, a mummy, a banshee and a zombie, this party, every party member has a stress attack. This party, with a dark knight, a zombie, a skeleton and a bride of Iratus, is more physical attack oriented, but they can do a lot of stress damage. Now overall, the minions are really pathetic in the early game. They are terrible, their attacks don't do a lot of damage, their attacks miss a lot, and they can die quite easily to the enemies that they attempt to fight through in the way to the surface world and freedom. This was obviously somewhat disheartening. However, with transplantation, it is possible to replace body parts of minions to make them stronger, more powerful, and better able to cope with the various foes they will face on the way out. A major difficulty I've discovered, however, is that minions fall and perish faster than you can craft better ones or upgrade them. So obviously that's an issue of a grind, that's a challenge. Let's get to it. The kingdom had need of the vast riches buried underneath the castle. Great veins of iron that promised to fuel conquest after conquest, along with ancient artifacts from a long forgotten age. Sorry, I've got a really dry throat at the moment. The dwarfs were eager to offer their services in this project, bringing their untested mining equipment and experimental concoctions for the promise of wealth. They only needed bodies that could obey, and that the humans could provide. With dungeons filled to the brim, both criminals and rebels... With dungeons filled to the brim with both criminals and rebels, there was no shortage of slaves to work these mines. Drugs were used to keep them docile as they dug ever deeper, year after year, unaware of the mortal danger that awaited them below. So here we have Iratus' prison chamber. Our goal, if I just zoom out a bit, is to get to this gate here, which would then lead to an upper level. Encounters are faced one at a time. Oh my god, we don't want to go this way. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I want to go either this way or this way. Get to here, and somewhere around here my minions will falter and die out because they just won't be able to make it. Just based on past experience. Maybe earlier if I'm really unlucky. I'll start with the first default party and head in to face these villains. Alright, we have two conscripts, a miner and a guard. Sometimes it's possible to get two guards in the first encounter. When two guards are encountered in the first encounter, it becomes very challenging indeed. Now the guard likes to use an ability that gives him a buff, moves him back a space, and then makes him attack any of my minions that moves. Now, I don't know if many of you have had this experience, but in a role-playing game, you'll have the situation where you'll be like, oh, a tentacle comes out of the darkness and grabs the enemy and drags him screaming away. And there'll always be that one player in every 7 or 8 who will say, oh, I want to hit him, he's moving away. He's not, and even though you try to explain to him he's not moving, he's being moved, this player will stubbornly insist that, no, I'm always ready, if anything moves near me I'm going to hit it. He's like, what, even if something falls past you, too fast for you to hit? Yes, I'm ready! Yeah, unfortunately the game developers seem to have taken a very similar approach, so every character in this game is extremely coordinated for a lot of teamwork, and when an enemy moves, they can go for them. So basically, when a guard is in his guard stance, we do not wish to move any of our minions. We want to maintain the same formation. And this party is much better for that than the alternative party I built, the stress-based party, which involves lots of shuffling about. Now, the Skeleton, the Bride of Iratus, and the Dark Knight each have movement-based abilities that would make this encounter significantly easier. However, if they're going to get attacked every time, that's not good. Now, the Bride of Iratus has a ability, a skill she can use which will shoot any enemy that moves. The Dark Knight has an ability that will cause stress to any enemy that receives a buff. And the guard will continue to use his self-buffing skill regardless of that. So that's good. We can focus on stressing down the guard, which often seems to be a good strategy in this first fight. The Miner is the heavy damage dealer. Sometimes he strikes twice instead of once, and it would be nice to see the enemy skills. Unfortunately, we cannot see the enemy skills. So let's get to it. Just a simple unassuming strike from a skeleton for now. So we will set up our Overwatch stance. Here comes the pain. Yep. And as he advanced with his advancing strike, he was shot. Futile Hopes is the skill that will debuff enemies. We'll also put the Blood Curse on the guard, in the hope that we can persuade him to run away and become a vampire for us. If not, that was a heavy price to pay. And here come those conscripts, who are ridiculously tough, by the way. They have lots of guards and wards that just are going to render them immune to damage for quite a bit. Our zombie is going to fire off a group shot that will hit the first 3 targets and attempt to... He won't do much damage, he'll just be reducing their blocks and other defences. Of course, the zombie misses a lot because, like all the rest of our minions, he's kind of rubbish at doing his job, which is a shame. We do need to take care of this one quickly. I'm so glad that missed. And he's been avoiding his skill. Right, we'll shoot him with a stress attack. So the red bar is health, the grey bar is stress. The main reason we shot him with that was it was an advancing skill and he was not in his guard stance. Right, he's playing tricky, we'll just scare him shitless, as it were. Right, I see a buff. Our skeleton can punish foes with buff skills. Oh, he's too far forward to do his stress attack. Well, we'll just shoot you and set you on fire. And miss! Right. Get on up there. And now that he can safely do that, he will. And that didn't move him back. That's interesting. Right. We'll set you on fire then. Okay, how are we going to do this? He's currently set up to... Well, we just need to reduce his resolve. His stress resistance stat down to the point where now he's likely to run away. However, what's this? That is due to the amount of stress he's taken. He's now on fire. It doesn't have a reduced chance to increased chance to run away. This is really risky.
Extinguish hope.
Right. Lovely. Just hit him. Now, I know I'm not using all the skills here, but that is with good reason. Using a lot of these skills is very dangerous. So for each minion, their last skill costs souls, and we only have 3 souls. They are a valuable commodity that we can easily run out of if we're not careful. I'll just go for a big strong sword attack. And it didn't miss for once, hooray. 8 to 9, I think we need to hit him with one more fire attack. Alright, we'll go for a group strike.
My kingdom comes!
This guard is not running. He seems determined to remain. His luck is minus 21, that's great. Dread, we deal dread, enemies resist it. Right. You didn't run away. I've got to be... This could kill him. I hope it doesn't, because we want him to run away, and he's not doing it. Ah, well. Right. Sword attack. Finish him off.
Good, good. More materials. Ooh, I didn't think it would be this easy.
Right. 66. 90. 53. I am looking... Right. Oh well. Just a group shot. Astounding fortitude. Put him in a defensive stance. Yes! The guard ran away! We will be getting our vampire after all. Hooray! Hooray! In that case, back up, pal. We're gonna Holy Lance this. Ha ha ha.
Your kind are delightfully cruel.
We'll just keep up that defensive stance. She's gonna... Wait. Needs to be in the back 2. That's back 2, that's back 2. There's no back 1. Damn it, she's gonna just back up. And then we'll just go for a regular sword attack. Alright. Now we want to just do minimal damage. 15. That's good, that's very good. I need you to back up. Buying time here to use a soul. And heal our Dark Knight. See, in a future fight, I'm going to be wanting my skeleton to use Strength of Mediocrity to equal... It shares the life pool of the 2 minions, and they will gain the average, and then I can heal the Dark Knight. It's one of the very few healing mechanics in the game at the moment. The other one is very expensive.
Mine is the winning side.
So we got 2 souls, a vampire, some nice rags every turn while there are 3 or fewer minions. Gain +1 ward until the end of the combat, maximum 1. If it's a maximum of 1, why include the words every turn? Bit weird. Or does it mean a maximum of 1 at a time, not maximum of 1 per combat? And then just some armor. After every fight we'll also gain a stone chest with a special item in. We can choose one for free. Skull, yes. That's a very good skull. Now, after every fight we return to the lair. I'm going to do some upgrading. This skeleton is going to gain a better skull. So once every 2 turns, gain +1 block until the end of combat, maximum 1. He gets beaten up a lot, so having a block which will just absorb all the damage is very good. What else can we upgrade? That's normal armor, so it's only the rags we're looking at really. 1 ward. The mummy is actually quite vulnerable despite his large health pool. The vampire does not use rags. The mummy it is then. Okay, I'll do one more fight and then I'll end the episode. Now, after every fight, the teams who did not fight regain a little bit of health. However, it's not enough to alternate between 2 teams. We need to try and get a 3rd team on the go. We do have our vampire, or vampiress as the case may be, and she has some very interesting mechanics where a lot of her skills reduce her health and then other skills increase it. She pays health as a mechanic to use very powerful attacks. Now, gaining vampires through use of the blood curse is not reliable. The vampire is significantly more powerful than many of our other minions, but again, not quite enough to be an easy mode button. We also gained a new point to spend here, and I'm going to grab transmutation.
Ooh, this will do nicely.
Because transmutation will lead to surgical practice, which we can use for better components to make better minions. You'll note that upgrading the skull here on a skeleton has changed him from level 1 to level 3. The level seems to not change the base statistical values of the skeleton so much as just to be an indicator of the quality of the components he's made of. Likewise, our mummy is now level 2. Let's get into that second fight. So now I need to choose a direction. This icon here, the elite squad, we do not want to run into them anywhere. And we will have to face this squad on our way out. Now, there's 2 elite squads on this path, so we don't want to be going this way. So we want to be coming the edges here, so we don't want to come up here at all. Which means we need to go this way or this way. So this route, we will have a chest, a quest. It's more of a encounter really. So this could be a more dangerous fight. A fountain of restoration, and then we'll come up here and join the main route. If we go this way, we face more fights, which will mean depleting the health of our minions. However, we'll also come to a grave where we will be able to automatically raise a minion who will be like level 2 or 3 or 4 or something. So this way, less fights but less body parts to make minions from. This way, more fights but more body parts. We'll take our second team, the stress team, and head on to this battle. Only 1 guard, this is excellent. Resistance is futile, says the Dark Knight. Every time they get a buff, he'll deal stress damage to an enemy. Now here we have a problem. The Banshee, every skill of hers moves her. But if we use a retreating attack, she won't actually go backwards. Absorb Fear might be worth it if I want to go for another Blood Curse. 77 of 100, 81 of 110. Ugh. We'll just go for some stress damage for now. Alright. Hex Beam. I mean, 8 damage when they've got like 80 to 100 health is just not very much. Okay, set him on fire. I want to do this again, but he's now so badly hurt, I have to do this. And the guard will now ready his defensive stance. Okay, he's gone berserk. He now has a 50% chance to attack his allies, which is good because the miners hit like a truck. The enemies, even the convicts, have so many blocks, it's just really hard to affect them. So the enemies are very durable, right? Also, as I mentioned in the previous fight, there are a lot of skills in the game that punish movement. Now, this is okay, except most of those skills belong to the enemies, and most of the movement skills belong to the minions. The heroic virtuous forces of good do not have as many skills that move them in the party marching order as the minions do. Especially this party, which has a lot of move skills. We're just going to burn him some more, because we need to really work him down fast. Sword attack. Misses completely. So our minions have low accuracy, their damage is low, their health isn't exactly low, but the enemies just strike really hard. Which does mean we need to be able to make better minions. And make better minions we can. However, the rate at which we gain body parts with which to make minions is not good compared to the rate at which our minions are lost. Can I? No, not really. Get up here in front where we can set you on fire and hit you with swords and all sorts of things like that. Let's start by setting you on fire. Nice. Yeah, you know what? Just hit him with a sword. There we go. Lovely. I mean, so far it seems I'm doing very well. However, as the run progresses, it will readily become apparent that actually, in a way, maybe the guard is a trap. Maybe I'm over-focusing on the guard, but as the run progresses, it will become more readily apparent that actually I'm not doing that well at all here. I really need to be able to make more use of the move abilities available to this party. Hey, he's not in his guard stance. Excellent. Burn him. In that case, we're going to debuff the mummy. The mummy and the Dark Knight have a lot of synergy. Are you gonna... Yep, yes you are. And attacks miss again. Lovely. Now, Hex Beam does additional damage if the mummy is debuffed. Not much additional damage, but additional damage. And we're going to lose our zombie if things don't turn around soon. 5 to 7, not enough. Shoot him again. We need that fire to be burning bright. Now, we're all nothing. The downside to this attack is the Dark Knight loses all his armor.
Brave are an excellent source of fresh corpses.
Which will make him very vulnerable indeed. He now has no armor. We'll have to put that back on him soon. 10 to 14, 12 life, that's all good. We can just rush in there now and start doing special funky stuff. See, I should have used the no skill to really punish that guard. Yes.
One by one, life vanishes from this
Because
world.
that has given us a lot of mana. He perished from the flames, it's all good. The mummy... I think impending horror might be... We'll just hit him for now. And blocked! Because the conscripts start with 2 or 3 blocks and are insanely... And now the miner got a double attack. I'm not sure why the miner got a double attack. It would be really nice to have that information. Alright, alright, alright. And blocked again. Because the enemies are just very durable. Right. Lovely. Up to the front, my sweetie. Excellent. Now if we just advance on him, or him, causing stress damage as we go. Oh, and this is where the heavy damage starts to come in, and our ability to survive the next fights is greatly called into question. I need you to debuff the mummy and get some armor back. And he ran away. Excellent. Kind of excellent. As you can see, this party is all about the stress damage. She survived, but barely.
Frail bodies fail.
Whew, we made it through without losing
Sad
anyone.
display of mortal kind.
We gained a new weapon and a heart, normal quality. Okay, dust, start combat in the 4th position, +1 block until the end of combat. Every turn vigor is below 30%, +15 armor until... That's a really good skull. Which of you uses a skull? Unfortunately, the Dark Knight does not use a skull. Could we just make a powerful minion? We do not have the ingredients required to make a more powerful minion. However, our skeleton here already has a good skull. Okay, armor on low health. You know what? Technically we should upgrade this zombie because he's already on very low health. Alright, and you know what? With that I'm actually going to end the episode because I don't want to run on for too long. This has been Iratus, Lord of the Dead. It's currently in alpha testing. Very, very, very early alpha access. You know, a lot of the numbers and things are not final. Essentially, as we go into our next fight, our minions are all pre-damaged and they'll have a harder time dealing with it. What is the next fight? Oh, it's the grave. Let's just go visit that now. What can we dig up? We can have a mummy, a lich, or a zombie. Let's go for the lich, because we haven't been able to build one yet. And he comes in already level 3. So he gains extra luck and extra luck, basically. Okay, interesting. Now the lich is a bit of an odd one. He has the only other healing ability in the game that I found, and it literally has to kill off a minion. And kill another minion, restore 25 mana to Iratus, the lich, and all allies regain 45 vigor. The lich gains another action. The downside to this is that minions are incredibly expensive to make in terms of body parts, and you can't just cast from the side willy-nilly. Now, if they're as badly wounded as this zombie here, then that's another matter, but overall you don't want to be using that skill. So the capability for healing skills in the game is rather limited. That being said, I'm going to round off the episode. I hope you've all been enjoying this one, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next one. I'll say bye-bye for now, and cheerio!